Connect with Perth and WA.
Breakfast with Mark Gibson.
On ABC Radio Perth WA and on the ABC Listen app.
Now, speaking of the city and transport needs, I bet Dustin didn't walk around the corner to Stirling Street this morning. Dustin Skipworth is out and about, uncovering some old buildings and some of Perth's past for us this morning. G'day, Dustin.
G'day, Mark. Why you got to put me on blast like that? I could have caught the train. It's very close to where I'm standing. I'm actually inside a Wilson car park at number 22 Stirling Street, and that's because the building that I'm standing in, it used to be called the Chrysler House. Later became Atwood House Showrooms. You may have known, you may have bought a car from here at one stage. It used to be this elegant-looking building. And the reason I'm standing here this morning is Delphine Jammett. She's an urban historian who runs the Facebook page Abandoned Western Australia. She's been documenting this building, has been inside, outside, and really finding out the finer details about it. Delphine's with me. Delphine, what is it about looking into these abandoned buildings that really sparks your interest?
There's so many abandoned places that get changed or demolished without being fully documented, and it's absolutely heartbreaking that we don't have photographic records of it.
And so you've been inside this building and many others around Perth, taking photos and finding out the history. What have you found out about this building that at one stage was called Chrysler House?
I don't know what time Atwood Motors actually started his business here, but William Young actually started his Holden and General Motors career. He actually bought Atwood Motors out in 1934, and he would continue to be well known for the Young's Holden all over the Perth metro area.
And so the building here, it once had people coming to pick up cars. They would be selling parts. John Hughes, one of the most well-known dealers in Perth, he started his career here.
Yeah, he came over in 1955 as a panel beater clerk position, and he must have been so gung-ho with his attitude and everything, because within 1 year, he made sales cadet at the Atwood Motors, and then I think it was like 3 years later, he became the general manager, and he was operations of Atwood's Fremantle, and he ran Atwood's Motorama. He had a great attitude. You could see from the early days, he was full on.
So it moved up pretty quickly. At some stage, this building actually caught fire and has been rebuilt, and some parts still stand. What do you know about that fire that happened here?
It's so hard to find any information or resources of the entire building company, let alone the fire, but I presume it occurred in 1975, maybe 1976. The top part of the Atwood Motors house, the bottom where the basement is, which was the parts area, was still operating while it was being rebuilt.
And if you walk across you can probably hear the train in the background. We're right next to the Perth train station almost. After the building caught fire, they sold it. It turned into a church at one stage. Do we know when it left the Atwood kind of Motors hands and moved into other buildings and businesses here?
Well, I know in 1990 they went bankrupt or something and they got bought out, but there was sales record for 1992 and 1995. So I presume they might have sold in 1992, and then the Riverview Church came in 1995. Maybe Wilson bought it after. It's so hard to find out for sure.
Where do you find your information when you're researching these, abandoned buildings that sometimes people haven't taken the time to put down the history on pen and paper or on the internet?
There are so many records everywhere you look. There's so many government resources. State Records Office have heaps of documents. I keep rating Damien Hassan for everything he has on places, newspapers, the Trove, websites. You can go back in time to websites the way they were in like 1995.
Well, it's great that someone is taking the time to really find out and write and put down this history. Delphine, appreciate your time this morning. And if you want to check out the website, she has posted a whole lot of photos and the history and the timeline. Just jump on Facebook. It's Abandoned Western Australia. I'm sure, Mark, that our listeners are really going to connect with, maybe buying their first car or working in this building at some stage.
Yeah, things worked out all right for John Hughes, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely.
I love abandoned buildings and I love those stories of what they used to be. So thanks for that, Dustin. Maybe we continue a bit of a theme with that because there are so many around Perth.